Hello, I'm Bishop Tracy Bartholomew of the New Jersey Synod. It's the fourth week of Advent and we're quickly heading toward Christmas Eve and Christmas Day celebrations. And in the past week and a half, or maybe a little bit more than that, I've gotten calls from a number of our congregations and from our parish pastors asking, what's the plan if our pastor gets sick or is exposed to COVID? Because as we all know, the numbers are rising quickly in New Jersey and we're seeing a spike in the number of cases, though the number of hospitalizations has not really increased and the capacities in our ICUs remains pretty robust. But there's concern. I'm concerned. I know that we're all taking the best precautions we can, and most of you have been vaccinated and boosted, and you're wearing masks when gathered inside. Those are great precautions to take. Keeping physical distancing, making sure that windows are open or there's ventilation while we're gathered inside for worship are other ways that we can try and keep one another safe. But still the concern remains, what happens if our worship leaders, if our pastor is exposed to COVID or tests positive? What happens to our Christmas Eve services? Well, I would suggest now making some plans for contingencies, whether that's recording a service or having a sermon already written that someone else can read. I know a couple of our congregations have already made decisions to switch worship to be online only, or to gather in the parking lot and use an FM transmitter for worship. One of the things to keep in mind as you make these decisions is that we need to not just take into account the positive numbers of new cases, but also the vaccination rates in your community and what's going on with the schools locally, although they're getting out for Christmas break. The second thing to keep in mind is that Jesus is born and comes to us, whether we're gathered in person, sitting in our cars listening through the FM radio, or online. Jesus is born into a world of pain and hurt and messiness, and nothing can stop that from happening, and nothing can prevent us from celebrating that truth. So as we gather and plan to gather at the end of this week for our Christmas celebrations, in whatever manner they happen, please know that God is with you, will be with you, and will lead you through this difficult time. Merry Christmas.